Thank you. Appreciate you so much, but I want to get right to the point. I'm in the vortex a lot, and my life is so changed. Heart beating.
Good.
Over the past few years, I've experienced more financial success and emotional success and harmony in relationships, and I thank you so much for the teachings, and I use it with children. I'm also a dog trainer, and I train therapy dogs and service dogs. And I love pets. They've been in my life. And I was just talking at lunch to a nice young lady. The one thing that really pulls me out of the vortex...
Don't go there.
...is when they die. I'm sorry, but when they croak, I'm in so much pain, but not enough so that I don't open my heart to another one. I've talked to people who refuse to have pets, who I think are mini therapists. I have 6 therapists running around my house. And what these service dogs do is, to me, a miracle, and I'm honored to work with them and people with so-called disabilities. But how do I line up with them leaving? Because I know they transition. How can I make it less painful?
Well, there are a number of things that, if we were standing in your physical shoes, that we would remind ourselves. First, one of the reasons that they are so missed by you is because they are so in the vortex, as you said. So just by observing them, they influence you a good deal of the time into alignment. Well, there is no greater service that anyone could offer anyone than that, than to consistently be in the vortex, so that if you're going to behold me, you're going to have to come in the vicinity of where I am. That's why they feel so good. They don't hold grudges. They don't blog. They don't have afternoon teas with each other where they have conversations about how bad their home life is. In other words, they stay focused in the now, and they instinctually gravitate toward what feels good. If you've had the wonderful experience of interacting with animals, then you certainly have noticed that they show an automatic aversion to some things and an attraction to others. And what that is their guidance system. Now, their guidance system isn't yanking on their chain and ringing their bell and speaking in their ear, don't go over there, there's something bad over there. They're just feeling a natural aversion to that and an attraction to that. In other words, and isn't an aversion to one thing, an attraction to another, an attraction to one thing, an aversion to another? In other words, isn't it just the other end of the same thing? So they just delicately and precisely understand their guidance system so well. And you are very wise when you call them the trainers and the teachers and the masters and the healers, because they are that, because of their relationship to source energy. The animals of your planet, while they are a source of food for one another and for you, their predominant reason for being is that they are balancers of energy. And the reason that they are more sophisticated balancers of energy than humans are is because they do not focus as precisely their desires into the vortex. So it's easier for them to stay in alignment. In other words, they don't want in the way that humans want, and so it's not as logical for them to notice the absence of what they are wanting as it is in the way that humans do. Humans are more adept at sifting through the contrast and asking for more. So you are the step 1 part of the equation that adds to the whole of this magnificent, deliberate, co-creating experience, where the beasts of your planet do a much better job at the step 3 part of the equation. Step 1 is ask. Can't help but do that. Contrast causes you to do it all day, every day. Source does step 2. Source answers. Source becomes the vibrational equivalent of what you've asked for. And the human responsibility, what you came forth to do, is the step 3 part. So that's why the beasts are so important to you. They represent the allowing, which is what you are wanting to master and teach also. Now, what we would say to ourselves about the animals is that one of the benefits of them being the allowing creatures that they are is that, because they're not the focusing creators that humans are, they do not have as great of benefit by being in the same body, in the same environment, with the same personality, with the same intentions. In other words, they can come and go much more rapidly. And so they come and go. Many of them at the lower part of the food chain come and go and come and go and come and go and come and go and come and go. And it does not mean they're not having a glorious time while they're here, but it does mean that every single one of them, without exception, does not dread the returning to the vortex, because they already understand the cycle. They don't feel any differently about reemerging back into source energy, which, by the way, is what going into the vortex is. We think you'd be rooting for everyone to do that. They don't feel any worse about going into the vortex or going back into source energy or reemerging back into source energy than you will feel at the end of this gathering when you get up and it's time to leave this room and open the doors and go on to the rest of your life experience. In other words, they do not see what you see as death as ending, and they do not see what you see as birth as beginning. They are living more of a continuum of the spiritual beings that they are. And that's what this entire gathering has been about with all of you. This is what we wish for you. You see, we know that if you did not hear one word from us or anyone like us about law of attraction or about the art of allowing, if you did not take the time to recognize the importance of your emotions and to guide your thoughts accordingly, if you never figure it out that the source energy within you is calling you, and when you go, you feel better, and when you resist, you feel worse, if you never figured any of that out consciously, still, your contribution to this planet is enormous, because you can't help but be source energy asking and contributing to the vortex. And it is our promise in every single case when you have what you call your death experience. We disrespectfully call it your croaking experience, because there is no death. There is no ending to the consciousness that is you, only an adding to it and an adding to it. But when you reemerge, when you leave behind this personality and you reemerge into the energy that is really who you are, back into that pure positive energy, you immediately become all that life in this physical experience has caused you to become. And such a celebration is experienced. So the beast just moves in and out, 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 in and out. And the reason you feel pain is because you've let that beast, for the most part, be a big part of your vortex time. Even though he wants to teach you about your own vortex time, you see. We want you, and so do these beasts. They want you to know. They want you to be as free-flowing as they are. They want you to accept that you are eternal consciousness, that there's no ending to that which is you, that you cannot get it wrong, and you never get it done, and that with every breath you breathe, there is another launching of another rocket, another promised land, another vortex held in readiness for your return to it, you see. We just don't think you should have to croak to get into the vortex. And that's what they're teaching you all day, every day too. They're not croaking to get in the vortex. They're in. But when they croak, they sure don't mean that as a reason for you to get out. That is our promise to you.
Can I connect with them here in the physical?
Of course.
Because that would be awesome.
But you don't need to. You don't need to, because they're coming again, and they're coming again, and they're coming again, and they're coming again. You don't have to go back and relive anything. Just stay current and connect with who you really are, you see. We have enjoyed this interaction immensely. It is delicious to come together with those like you who are coming to know the power of who you are. This has been a remarkable day. We've talked about a lot of different things, and we are feeling utterly satisfied with the motion forward that we have made in terms of new ideas, but mostly with the coming into the vortex that you all have achieved. You now know too much. You can never again be out of the vortex and not know what it means, and that's such a wonderful thing. There is great love here for you. And as always, we eternally remain with all of your four-legged friends, and on and on and on, in the vortex.